So, welcome everyone to today's event on L4M5 revision. This time, I want to do something different. So, instead of presenting a slide, a few presentations about L4M5 and related concept. Now, today, I want to introduce a small game, the lucky number. So, no more about questions, no more about simple or boring slide. Today we do something like this. First, I give you a set of number to choose from. Today, rec- mm, I prepare some number from 1 to 5, and each number represents either an opportunity or an inquiry. If you selected a number that is opportunity, then you can write the question for me and other participants. And if you selected an inquiry number, then I write a question for you. So for the participant that select inquiry number, then they will need to answer the question. And if they answer that correctly, they will have an opportunity to get the a test, L4M5 test, free from me. Otherwise, if they can't, and other participant may solve that question, then that participant will get that test. Okay, so it is an equal opportunity for all of you. Now, we have number from 1 to 5, and today I see that there are 6 participants until this moment. So you will select the number from 1 to 5 by making the comment. And when I select a number like inquiry or opportunity, then it will appear. And if it is an inquiry, then you need to answer the question. And I will invite the person that selected the number to unmute and answer the question orally. Right. So we have equal chance for both. Right. Ready for this? Okay, thank you, Isaac, for very specific questions. Um, can we do this a little bit later when we finish this game? When after I finish this game about lucky number, so you have the opportunity to comment or to send into the chat a random number from 1 to 5, and I will open the number when we have, well, after all of you has selected a number. Right, now it's time. Select your number. Comment it in the chat, and I will open in chronological order from the chat. Now select a number from 1 to 5. Yeah, access 1. Yeah, okay. So you want to do in numerical number. All right. There are 3. Anyone with 4 or 5? Actually, then anyone can select any number, and you are not required to select in order. Furthermore, a number can be selected by many people. So if there are more than one person select a number, then if it's an opportunity, both of you can write the question. And if it is an inquiry, then I can ask one of you. And if that selected person cannot answer, then I will move on, select another, and select the other one. All right. So no one asking 5. Um, please select the number. You can reselect the one that the other person has done. Okay, so only 4, right? No one with 5. Remember that if you can answer the question, then you get a free practice question, a practice test. Anyone with 5? All right, so today we will skip 5. Yeah, today we'll skip 5. Now, let's do in chronological order. So I'll just select the first number and let me click on this. Now, the first number is an opportunity. So do you have any question for these topics? I would like to take the topics from 2.1 about different type of costs, about break-even analysis, and different costing methods like absorption, marginal, or activity-based costing. Actually, 2.2.1 is pretty basic topic. So we can just have different type costs, like what are direct, what are indirect, and fixed and variable. So direct costs are the expenses that directly related to the end product, and normally they have the relation with or they originate from the primary activities within the Potter's five forces model. And indirect costs tend to originate from the secondary ones. And with fixed and variable, they are related to the movement of the cost when the output increase. So variable costs increase when we have more output, and fixed costs are fixed or stable when we increase or decrease the output. Okay, so they are very basic classification and categories of cost. Ashish, are you sure about this? All right, if you skip, then I might select the second one. Now, let me select the second number. Right. This is selected from Moham. Right, so select the second number. And Moham, this is an inquiry. I think you should unmute now.
Yeah, yes, Daniel.
Yes. Okay. So thank you. I should call you Masters. Right.
Yes, you can call me Master.
This is just a revision, and you don't need to be stressed about, or you don't need to be stressful about this question. We don't judge. I don't judge that, and it is just about like you can if you can answer that, then I can see that you have prepared well for the exam, and if you cannot answer the question, it's not a problem. You maybe you just need to revisit that and prepare better for the exam. So it's fine. Just feel free to tell me your knowledge and opinion about these questions. Okay, so Masters, first, tell me about how these negotiation tactic work. First, snow job. Second, hardball. And third, about salami tactic.
Uh, Thank you, Daniel. I'm not well prepared actually, but let me try at least with my gaze. Explain with the question number one. Explain how the following tactics work. First is no job, no idea. Second one is hardball, no idea. Salami. It might be, let's say, when you go for a negotiation for a certain countries or for a certain context, there is some sort of, that's how to say, giving some sort of contribution.
Yeah.
It might be monetary, it might be non-monetary. So those kind of acts or activities may link to salami. What I understand, I might be wrong. This is my understanding.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. How about the second question? Should a negotiator use the tactics in integrated negotiation and why?
Yeah, thank you for your second question. First of all, I would say yes, a negotiator should use tactics in integrative negotiation. Why? Let's say in general, if I would like to just share with you from my understanding of that I read from the books or my experiences, it's involving the stakeholders
Yeah.
and understanding. Let's say there is suppliers and buyers. So if we are at a position, let's say buyer, as a buyer, we also need to understand what is our expectation from the negotiation or from the discussion. And we also need to keep on eyes on the suppliers during the discussion, their demand or their desire, their argument, uh, because in the end, we need to come to a conclusion to reach an agreement. That is the usual practice as a buyer. So yes, win-win situation. Yes, Ashish has already mentioned here, and that is linked to Harvard approach. We know, Daniel, we know
Yeah.
it very well. So we need to look for the win-win situation so that we can come to a deal, so that objectives as a buyer can be obtained. Also, supplier can be benefited.
Okay, so your opinion is that the negotiator can use tactic in integrative.
Tactics, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Masud.
Most
So
welcome, Daniel. I'm not sure. I have just tried here.
yeah,
Thank you.
it's fine. It's fine. It's our opportunity to learn, so I don't judge that. Okay, so later you may also learn not just from me, but from other participants as well. Now, can anyone also, does anyone have different opinion from masses? Can you raise your hand and tell me why?
Daniel, may I add just I have just caught some information just suddenly on my
Okay.
brain. So if you allow me, I can share. So
Yes.
if we say that the negotiation, there is a negotiation diagram or chart. So one option is a win-win, definitely. Another option might be win-lose. So
Yes.
that means as a buyer, if we think I am as a buyer, I win and supplier lose.
Yes.
So it can be also an option. Uh, Another option is lose-win. So sometimes I need to respect or abide by the requirements of the supplier. In that case, I may lose. So I
Okay.
need to also, in that case, I need to also abide by the conditions or terms of the supplier when
Okay.
there is also my interest is there. So it may trigger to lose-win option. And another option is criteria option is the lose-lose. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody wins. So that deal may not come to a conclusion as per the expectation from both sides, as a buyer and as a supplier. That is to share with you. Thank you.
Oh,
Over to
okay.
you.
Thank you very much, Masters. All right. Does anyone want to contribute towards these two questions? Can anyone explain about no job hardball, or does anyone have another opinion about using tactics in integrative approach? All right. So Ashish, I think you want to have a talk here. Okay. Can you unmute?
Yeah, Daniel, thank you. So I wanted to add regarding snowball techniques, in which we have a lot of information, and basically we are trying to make things more complex in nature, and
Okay.
just trying to confuse the person on the other side with a lot of information.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
How about hardball? How about hardball? Do you know about hardball tactic?
Yeah. Hardball tactics is it's means it's the name as the name suggests. It's like a hard ball we are hitting onto someone. So it's forceful, it's aggressive,
Yes.
and we are trying to put up pressure on the other party, and it falls into the category of win lose. That
Yeah.
in this, the focus is that I should only win. The other person may or may not win. So he generally the other person loses.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And finally, salami. What does it mean?
Salami means in which we are dividing it. A larger objective, a larger goal is divided into a smaller fragments,
Okay.
and we kind of are dividing it and taking all the concession for a large one.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. And do you think we should use tactics in interpretive negotiation?
Tactics in integrative negotiation.
Yes. The second question here. Should we
So
use tactic in negotiation?
So, as a professional, as I am into procurement, I will never use tactics in integrative, because integrative, as the name suggests, it's a holistic way of negotiation, in
Yeah.
which we are not only keeping the interest of our organization intact, but also we need to protect and appreciate and look into the interest of the supplier as well. So it is more holistic, integrative. It's more
Okay.
collaborative, wherein we are appreciating and identifying and helping each other.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think I'm quite satisfied with your answer. So, yeah, Ashish, due to this performance, then you will get a free test of F15. Okay, so just leave me your email and I will contact later. Now, thank you very much. For now, then, Ashish has given a pretty correct answer to these two questions. So first, we have a few tactics. And when we talk about tactics, we are talking about some type of tricks that can be used in the negotiation to convince the other party. These tricks can be, I can say, quite aggressive and not very friendly. So we have a few things here: snow job, hardball, and salami. In fact, when we come into tactics in negotiation, most of the English words here come from American business environment. They come from American business environment. Therefore, these words tend to attach to their daily life scene, like about snow job. It means like they need to sweep out the snow during winter. You know that in Canada and the USA, there are very heavy snow, heavy snow. So from time to time, the homeowner and the car owner need to hire someone to sweep off the snow. So this could be like when we do that, then a huge amount of snow may fall off and bury something. So the same thing apply into negotiation. Then we do snow job or the other party does snow job. It means that they try to bury us in a lot of information. Furthermore, snow job tend to be something like mere fact or even lying. So not just about information, but the information they provide is wrong and try to convince us that the deal is good, while in fact it isn't. So snow job is something like try to manipulate or try to convince the other party in a negotiation in a dishonest way, okay, by providing a lot of information, and most of them are untrue. Okay, so the one of the tactic, it is useful when we have the information, when we know better. So preparing the negotiation is a counterweight, is a countermeasure toward this tactic. Second, we have hardball. Hardball, as I just say, it it is a general term. We may use the aggressive and pushy or try to push the other party toward agreement. So we may set out some limit, but we don't give up any concession. But we try to push, try to punish, try to coerce the other party to the agreement and to the concession. Okay, so this is hardball. It is the opposite to softball as well as other pull approach. And finally, salami. Salami, it's not just about dividing the big objective into smaller one, but it is also about like getting small concession from time to time. So we can have like 10 or 15 consecutive negotiation sessions with the other party. And during each session, even though they make documented, but we can ask for further concession, like saying like, this is our last requirement. Can you do that? And next time, then you may say something like, the plan has changed. We also want this benefit. Can you do that? Okay, so from time to time, if they consist a little, then we claim a little. And for each time, our claim is so small that even they don't think it is important until we can eat up their salami. So salami, just like with snow job, it is a thing in the US life. It is a carb food. It looks like a sausage, but with it is reddish and with white fat within that. So to eat salami, then they need to make a very thin slice. So salami is used to describe the situation where a party try to get the concession, try to get very small concession, and they try to make small concession after another until they get the whole salami. They can eat the whole salami at the expense of the other party. Right, this is salami. Actually, salami is famously used. It was famously used during history, right? You can search for salami tactic and with the history precedent, and they can give a lot of result about the story and background of this tactic. And with the second question, so since you can see that these tactics tend to rely on dishonesty or tend to rely on aggressiveness or coercion or lying or concealing our feeling, then it should not be used in a integrative negotiation. it should never be used in such situation. In integrated negotiation or win-win situation, then we try to offer the solution that satisfies both parties, and it requires trust, it requires long-term relationship, which the tactic tend to destroy. Once the other party learn that we use no job, hardball, or salami, then they may feel quite provoked, or they may feel quite upset about us. But if we have the power imbalance, like we have more power than them, then they can do very little about that. So it may work when we have power imbalance, but it doesn't work when we have the integrative and win-win situation, where the other party may be upset about our approach and they can cancel the negotiation. Okay, so Asis answered this question very well. Now, let's continue with the third number. Okay, so the third number is selected by Dell. All right, Dell. I don't know how to, I don't know your name. Actually, you are using the default name from the computer. So let me select this first. Now, this is another inquiry. So Dell, can you unmute yourself and tell me about the absorption costing method and also activity-based costing method?
Okay, I'm not sure about the activity-based
So
method.
first, Dell, your name here, your display name here is a computer. So first, can you tell me your name?
Okay, Caroline.
Caroline. Yes, thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, what I understand about absorption costing, it involves all the costs that are incurred in the processes of I think the whole life cycle
Okay.
of our dealings in the business. So all costs are not like differentiated into what do you call it? Into like fixed cost or variable cost. They are just calculated as one thing.
Okay. So we combine every cost into the
Yes.
final cost of the product, and account that for the product price.
Yes.
Okay. So, but I think that absorption costing is quite comprehensive if the description is that if the description about that is like what you have said. But why we also have activity-based costing, and what could be the advantages and disadvantages of ABC? Activity-based costing is also known as ABC.
Activity-based cost, you have like what do you call it? The actual budget of every activity, like a machine running costs. Those costs that are associated with that one activity, not like the whole production costs.
Okay. So I think activity-based costing, as you have said, it does not capture all of the cost for a product. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Do you want to provide any further information about these costing methods?
No, I'm still trying to grasp the concepts, but I think I just have a little bit of ideas of what's happening there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Is there anyone else wants to provide the answer here? Wants to assist Caroline in defining and describe absorption costing and activity-based costing? All right. So Ashish, you already have the opportunity. Sorry, Akmoham, you already have the opportunity. So now, I would like to invite Ashish to support this.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. So I would like to assist here that activity based costing is
Sorry, Ashish, sorry. I mean Akmoham or Masood. Sorry. Yeah, sorry
okay.
for that. Yeah, Masood.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Just to add, additionally, I have Dell has explained. Just to add that absorption cost, it may be defined as another way. We can also say that it is known as full costing. That
Okay.
means different kinds of costing might be included here in the manufacturing cost process in general. Uh, Cost criteria can be, let's say, fixed cost can be included here. Variable cost also can be included here, so that uh, it covers all types of costs in defining the absorption costing. So if we think about a manufacturing costing process, I mean, we see different criteria also here. We see the materials, we see the labor, a direct material, direct labor, which can be defined as let's fixed cost or direct cost, sorry, and fixed cost. And also there might be other criteria. Let's say when you go for a production, we use electricity, we use gases, we use let's say use machinery. So use of those kind of things also can be included under the variable cost. So those can be included in absorption costing as a full costing. And yes, that is to add to define the absorption cost additionally to assist.
Okay. Yeah. So absorption costing tend to capture all of the cost, right?
Yeah.
And it seems to be quite perfect costing method to apply here. But why we also have activity-based costing?
Sorry, Daniel.
I mean, as you have described, then absent costing try and actually it captures all the cost, and it seems to be a perfect method for costing here. So why do we have other costing method like activity-based costing?
Thank you very much for the question. So when you go for activity-based costing, I mean, we need to also think that as a entrepreneur, as a businessman, as a buyer, or as a businessman, that which cost I have the fixed cost, which costs fall under the variable cost, so that I can calculate my costing uh, for a particular manufacture of a product, because I need to see the costing. In the end, of course, I would like to sell a certain product. So I also need to add a markup in the end, which, if we define that, okay, let's say costing plus markup equals equal to the selling price. So I need to define in the end as a manufacturer or the businessman or an entrepreneur, I mean, which markup I can make based on the costing. That's why I need to also break down the costing, absorption costings, uh, different kind of costings, fixed cost, variable costs, and so on. That is my understanding. Over to you, Daniel.
Okay, so yeah, in absence costing, then we mostly consider about variable costs and fixed costs. Okay, so we try to account all of them, right? Okay, but if it is so perfect, then they don't suggest or we don't have other costing method. Therefore, I think that you need to consider about the advantages and disadvantages of option costing and activity-based costing. For marginal, I don't mention it here because it's quite basic. Now, let's talk about absorption costing. So to illustrate this, I would like to have an example. Please wait. I need to open that slide. Just hold on. I'm finding that example from my L4M5 slide. Okay, it's here.
And Daniel, if you allow me just to add.
Yes.
Because there was another question for advantages and disadvantages of activity-based costing.
Yep.
So I just would like to additionally add that it help us. I mean to find a way how we can achieve our objectives or goal of being a manufacturer or being a business person. So because it helps to generate the product costings that we have just shared, fixed costs, variable costs especially. And it also helps, I mean, us to take the decision for better pricing or better outsourcing or other kind of decisions, which help us to take the improved decision-making process. And of course, it helps us to obtain efficiencies to measure the cost or for our business purposes and strategic planning and better control of the business. Even though it may have how to say, it's not always easy. I mean to find the actual costing. So it might be challenging to certain extents, but in the end, it helps us to run a business efficiently. Yeah, that I'd like to share.
Okay, so activity-based costing may help the business to run their work more efficiently, right? But sometimes it can be quite challenging to understand all the costs, like under that circumstances, right? All right. Let me illustrate about absent costing and activity-based costing based on some example. So the absolute costing is quite straightforward. We have different parts of the cost for unit cost. For both absolute costing and activity-based costing, then we consider about the unit cost. What could be the cost for making a unit in manufacturing or in providing a service? What cost what could create the cost for a product, right? So the cost here should be fully reflected, and we need to make a sufficient markup for the product to stay afloat. Okay, and both absolute costing and activity-based costing are just different way to approach to this question. So for absolute costing, It is pretty simple and straightforward. First, we need to account all of the variable costs or all of the variable direct costs of a unit. Okay, for example, I can include the cost of material for the direct labor within this unit. Second, for the fixed cost, since I want to capture all of the costs, so the fixed cost here tend to be a little bit more difficult. Since the fixed cost is fixed and we don't know the number, we cannot be sure about the number until there something happen. So I can allocate the fixed cost based on the previous finance year or financial period and divide them to the estimated production or the total number of units. So for each unit, we will have an allocated fixed cost based on the forecast, based on estimation, based on the past or historical data. So we can add up it here. And finally, we have the total cost equal to the variable cost and the allocated fixed cost. And finally, we can add a markup on the top to create the price or to calculate the price for this unit. So this is the example, quite straightforward. First, I can account easily two things. For the direct material, it took me like $10 of direct material to create that bulb, and then $2 of direct labor to do that. And then I can calculate that. I have 100,000 US dollar of overhead per month. And within that month, then I produced 20,000 bucks. So we have $5 of fixed cost allocated to each unit. So the cost here for per unit is 17 plus 3. So we have, we have the total cost here is 17. 10 plus 2 plus 5, that is 17. And I set up a markup, which is 3. And my sale price is $20 per bottle. The problem with this method is that sometimes it could be quite arbitrary. Although it is very simple and you can rely on your past data on this, but it is quite arbitrary. Sometimes the overhead may change because not just normally they don't change depending on the output, but they may still change due to the situation. Sometimes, for example, one of your worker may take some day off due to his family issues, or they may have injury, not just at work, but they may have some accident on the road and they need to take some days off from the work. So that may change the cost base. You need to have someone to work overtime, or you need to hire some temporary worker. In other case, right, when you produce a lot of bulbs like this, then you need to place them under some warehouse, right? And you incur the cost for warehouse, for storage. Sometime, and with absolute costing, we have another problem. The fixed costs here are allocated based on production and forecast, but not real sale. What if our product is out of line of the market and we have a lot of inventory at the end, right? We cannot sell them, right? So every time we may, or every day we can incur cost in storage. So the fixed cost here, although it's called fixed, but it is only fixed when the unit change. It doesn't fix when we have further circumstances or we have different activity. So the allocation of fixed cost here could be quite arbitrary and incorrect, and it is unable to capture all the cost elements and cost drivers. So it is imperfect. Therefore, they need to think for something else. And the solution here could be either marginal costing or activity-based costing. So for activity-based costing, then this is what we can do. Also taking this example from bulk manufacturer. All right, so the material and direct labor are relatively easy to calculate. Now we need to allocate the fixed cost into the unit here. So for each unit, it may go through a production process. It may go through the conveyor. It needs to be boxed and stored. So for each activity like that, then it incurs the cost. When the bulb runs through the conveyor and the manufacturing process, then we can allocate the cost of the machine over that. To produce a bulb, for example, then the machine may take like 10 minutes to produce a bulb. So you can easily calculate the electricity to that the machine consumes, and also the depreciation of the machine that into that 10 minutes of production, right? So for each step and for each activity, we can allocate some kind of cost, and to the end, then we can estimate the cost of producing a unit based on the total cost of the activity, right? So in this way, then we may make an overview of the process of production and also of sale marketing and also of storage and logistic and other activities. Therefore, we can capture all the costs and it can make the costing here more accurate. However, it is quite complex since it requires a lot of data. It requires a lot of observation and collect data at the place. And it also requires some complex calculation, maybe using some simulation software. It may incur more cost for us to run such a simulation. And to have access to such complexity and situation, then you need to approach in team. Procurement alone cannot do this, but they need to have data from other departments and from the supplier as well. So for costing method here, remember that we are putting it in negotiation context. It means that you need to think about this as negotiator. We are not analyzing our costing. We are not analyzing the cost base of our business, but we are analyzing the cost base of the supplier so that we can have an estimate of their cost and price, which could be used for further negotiation. Here, this is short comparison between activity-based and outsourcing costing. While activity-based is more accurate, but it is more costly in terms of data and in terms of processing. But and also it requires the team approach, so it could be more suitable for a high-stake and more important product. Why outsourcing costing is quite inaccurate and it is more arbitrary, but it can be done through some assumption and it could be done easily by using Excel or any other spreadsheet software. So assumption costing could be used to estimate several items that are easily estimated, but we should use activity-based when it comes to higher stake, and the product or the production process could be quite complex as well. Okay, so for this one, I think we need to revisit this topic again. I know this one could be the hardest part in L4M5, especially when it comes to costing method. Actually, normally procurement are not doing this. we often do something like tendering process or negotiation, but costing is something from accounting. We have a part, we have a function known as cost accounting. So normally procurement don't do that, but we need to prepare for negotiation. So understanding the cost base is necessary. Now, as Isaac, select number 4. So now I will open that. Open question. Open number 4 here. Okay, so Isaac is not here. He's not here. All right, so can anyone answer this question about the features of different market types? So beside the costing, then competition in the market may decide the outcome or may decide the objective in the negotiation. So we need to understand the different level of competition within the market and the power dynamic in each market. For now, can anyone tell me about these these 4 markets? What are its features and how procurement may adapt the negotiation strategy in these markets? Yeah, Masud, unfortunately, I think that we need to review that. So yeah, you don't have the free test for question number 3. Can anyone answer this inquiry? All right, Asis. I think you are a star today, but let other participants have their opportunity. All right, I think I should give Caroline another opportunity. Caroline, you can unmute now.
Okay. Perfect competition is characterized by many competitors of a product in the markets, many suppliers, and the barriers of entry in the market are there are no barriers of entry. So a buyer can easily switch to another competitor.
Yeah.
Then oligopoly, there are a few, maybe 2 large suppliers of a product, such as maybe oil. So they may be the price setters in the market. They may form like cartels or something to just like create a barrier for others to enter into the market as rivals.
Okay, yeah, good.
Then monopoly, there's only one supplier of the whole in the whole market.
Yeah.
So the supplier is like the highest power, bargaining power.
Yeah,
When it
very
comes
high
to
bargaining power,
monopoly.
right?
Then monopolistic competition. There are maybe I'm not sure about that one, but I think they have same product, but the competition is a little bit what can I say?
Okay.
Okay, monopolistic competition, they may be few, but like they may be regulated to stay at a certain like price range, so that not to what do you call it, to upset, okay, to overcharge the buyers in the market.
Okay.
I think that's my understanding.
All right. Thank you very much, Caroline.
Okay.
Since we don't have many participants now, so I think I will answer this one. To understand about these markets, then we need to understand not just about, these markets are interrelated, and they use different words for that, so they have the reason. And if you understand about perfect competition, then the monopolistic competition will be kind of like a derivative from perfect competition. So for perfect competition, then there are 5 conditions to have the perfect competition. First, as Caroline have said, we need to have many suppliers or many sellers and many buyers. That is the first condition. Second, the switching costs as well as the barrier to entry and barrier to exist are non-existent. Okay, just like what Caroline said. But we also have other 3 conditions. The other one are, first, the product must be the same, and there are no features that set out a product to another. Okay, so all products must be the same. All products in the market must be the same. They must be homogeneous. The product must be homogeneous. Second, the information here must be perfectly symmetrical. It means like everyone knows what happened in the market and why. So there's no manipulation, and the market and the buyer and the supplier may freely choose whatever they want, right? And third, within this market, then the price will be set by supply and demand under equilibrium price. So perfect competition is, as it said, it's perfect. And since it is perfect, then it is non-existent. No market in the real world meets all of those 5 conditions. Some market has barrier to entry. Some other market has different quality in the products. Some other market has informational asymmetry and etc. So no market in the real world have the perfect competition, although we all want a perfect competition. So to contrast, then we have monopolistic competition. It is the combination of perfect competition. We still have competition and some features of competition and some features of monopoly. So it is called monopolistic competition, right? Monopolistic competition. For competition feature, then we have a few things. First, still many buyers and many sellers. But all other features are different. So the products are not identical. The product in monopolistic competition market is not identical. They are different. They are different based on the quality, based on the brand, based on the service attached to that, and other things. Okay, so that is the difference. And furthermore, the monopolistic feature here also say that every seller is unique, and they possess some kind of monopoly over their product. They may have some intellectual property, like the copyright or the patent or the trademark over that product. So they have the monopoly power. So therefore, it is competition with a lot of sellers, a lot of buyers, but the product are monopolized based on the protection from the law. And the information in monopolistic here, in monopolistic competition here is also asymmetrical. It means unbalanced. Some party like the seller may know better. Sometimes the buyer may know better, but it is imbalanced. For other two markets, then Caroline answered correctly. So for our oligopoly, we have a handful of competitors. And for monopoly, we only have one single one single business that dominates the supply market. However, we also have the market that have only one buyer, that is that is monosopny, right? Monosopny. That is a market with only one buyer. For the market with only one seller, then it is monopoly. For both monopoly and oligopoly, then the buyer has very little choice and they don't have much option. And furthermore, in oligopoly, as Caroline said, then there are only a handful of suppliers. So they tend to work together. They may form the cartel for competition. They may form the cartel. So it is impossible. It could be impossible for the buyer to negotiate a better price. Therefore, in oligopoly market, the state or the government may have some form of regulations. In both kind of oligopoly and monopoly, the government may want to impose some certain law, like limit the market power or limit the ability to form cartel that distort the market. So as a buyer, and especially when you purchase from this market, then we need to understand the relevant regulations and how to gain the leverage, like using the alternative products or the substitution to avoid the weakened bargaining power position. Yeah, thank you, Caroline. So for monopolistic competition, then the product here are heterogeneous. It means they are unidentical, they are different. Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much for your participation today. Yeah, no one select number 5, so I skip this. So I would like to congratulate Access for very good performance today, and you will get a free practice question for L4M5. And if you have any further question, just contact us on WhatsApp and email. For Access, you will get your free test on Monday. Thank you very much for your participation and see you in other event. Goodbye.